I am now 32 years old. This video is for anybody who's in their 20s, anybody's older, anybody who can relate. I made a video similar to this a few weeks back, but I was rambling so much that I really want to make something more deep dive. And so this is the lessons that I learned in my 32 years that I want to talk about. I'm gonna break them up into 8 segments. So you can stay for the whole video. You can take what you need, whatever. All right. So the first one's gonna be work ethic. Then I'm gonna talk about money, relationships, confidence, peace, joy, your health, mental and physical, and then you as a whole. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is work ethic, man. And I'm not talking about the work ethic where you just do good in one area, but you don't do good in another area, or you excel in one area, but you don't excel in another area, or even when you're talking about like, oh, outworking people. Like, I'm not really talking about that kind of work ethic. Even though it's all the same thing, I'm talking about more so from the perspective of you. Like, your work ethic is gonna determine who you become. And I'm not just saying like how hard you work at a job. I'm saying how you do one thing translates to how you do pretty much anything. Like, if you cut corners in your life, it'll start to show up in other areas of your life. If you cut corner in your relationships, it'll show up in other areas. If you're young and you cut corners in your schoolwork, and you know what I'm saying, it'll show up. I know a lot of times, people talk about, oh, I'm not a good student, or I'm not this. And it's not really so much about being a good student. It's about the kind of effort that you put in. It's about your mentality. Like, do you do things with intentionality and excellence? And the reason why I say that is because that carries over into other things that you do in life. Like, do you work in the gym? Are you intentional when you go in the gym, or are you like bullshit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing in your relationships, which I'll talk about more in a second? Like, are you intentional? Do you do things with a spirit of excellence, or are you like just messing around? You know what I mean? When you talking about money, you know what I mean? It comes into every aspect of your life. Like, how you do one thing is how you do another thing. Like, I've talked about in other videos about the Kobe Bryant video that went viral a long time ago, where he was having kids do sprints for some shoes. And he was like, man, if somebody don't touch the line, none of y'all get shoes. And all the guys was running, 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 running. And one guy kept like cutting corners, right? And so him cutting corners pretty much affected everybody on the team where they don't get shoes, because it's like you cheated yourself, which is cheating everybody around you, but you cheating yourself because you're not giving your best, right? Now, I'm not just saying working hard is going to get you everywhere you need to go in life. You're going to have to use some common sense, and you're going to have to use some smarts, and you're going to have to learn. But if you don't have the work ethic or the ability to deal with like adversity, or which I should have made another topic, but I'll combine a work ethic. If you're not able to like work through certain stuff when it gets hard and when it gets tough, and keep your head down, it's going to be hard to, what I'm saying, really do anything. All right, so the next part is money, man. Like, money isn't everything, but you know what Drake said, people with no money act like money isn't everything. Like, I'm not saying money is everything, but you can't do nothing without money, man. So the first thing I would say is get your finances in order. The sooner you get your finances in order, sooner you can do whatever other stuff you want to do, right? When it comes to money, as far as I'm seeing, money gives you the resources and the tools to buy your time back, and to buy your freedom back as a human being, right? I know a lot of times we talk about the rat race and stuff like that. In order for you to, I know you think that you can kind of come up with like these, get rich quick schemes and all this other stuff to circumvent the system, but we all gotta pay. You know what I'm saying? One way or another. Like, and if you can find something to speed it up, cool. But ultimately, man, get your money right. Try not to do nothing illegal, man. Stay out the streets, because everything that you do has its own consequences. You being in the streets, death or jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, do it the right way, so that way you can enjoy it the right way. And then when you get your money, you have more control over your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thoughts is, personally, even when it comes to race, I'm being a black male. A lot of times, if you got money, man, people can't say nothing to you when you got the bag. You know what I mean? Like, they just, what are they gonna say? You know what I mean? Hey, I could buy you. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't eliminate every problem, but even aside from race, I don't want to make this about race, because it's not. But even aside from race, like money doesn't care about the color. Money cares about what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you gonna do with the money that you have? Like, save, invest, and then create the life that you want. If you don't know how to do that, I've talked about that in other videos. It's a lot of YouTubers that talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, work hard, save you some money, invest your money. The sooner that you invest your money, the better off you be. The game is compound interest. So it's all about how long you're in the market. That's whatever you're buying, that's an asset. That's real estate, that's stocks, whatever it is. Like, it's about compound interest. Work at the compounds. Money compounds. All right, my bad. My video cut off. So yeah, money, man. Take care of your finances earlier. Like, one thing that I've learned is, if you just sit down for like 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever, take whatever timeline you need for you and just stack you some bread, you'll feel a lot better. You know what I'm saying? It'll help with your mental health. It'll help with you stressing. Like, I remember even when I was in college, if I had, one time I might have had like 5 grand in the bank, right? As a college student at the time, that was a lot of money because I can go where I want to go. I can eat, I can sleep, my bills is paid, whatever it is. You know what I mean? That only lasted for about 6 months, but that was the most sleep that I had in a long time. Look at my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the most sleep that I had in a long time. Like, I slept like a baby because I had money in the bank. Even as an adult, when I had money in the bank, I slept like a baby. So it's about getting the money, but it's also about keeping the money. So take care of your finances. 6 months is gonna come and go, bro. Like, the parties, the girls, and all that stuff. Like, it's gonna come and it's gonna go. But the thing about it, man, what people don't tell you, it's gonna talk about relationships. When you got money and you got your stuff together, you can choose your relationships. So the women that you want to go after, the guys that you want to go after, the type of people that you want around in your life, when you have your money and you have your stuff together, you have the ability to choose. So, and that builds confidence, which I'll talk about later. Money ties to a lot of things, and it's not because of what money is; it's the feeling that money can bring. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, just get your money together. All right, next thing, relationships. So when talking about relationships, man, who you choose to have as a partner and marry and have kids with is probably gonna be one of the biggest decisions of your life. Because these people can absolutely, I'm gonna be honest with you, they can absolutely ruin your life if they decide to. And what I mean by that, well, I'm gonna say ruin your life, but they can make your life really hard, especially when it comes to money and it comes to kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can, as we see now, a lot of people, they getting tied up with divorce settlements and stuff like that, and it's costing men a lot of money. Sometimes it's costing women a lot of money too. You know what I'm saying? Kids, same thing. You can't take half of a kid. You know what I'm saying? All you can do is share. You know what I mean? So it's like, when you decide to have kids with people and get married to people, have these things in mind. Spend different seasons with them. You know what I'm saying? Don't just say, okay, I love this person with a feeling. You need to see how these people operate in different seasons: fall, winter, spring, summer. You know what I'm saying? How are they when they hot? How are they when they cold? How are they when they lukewarm? How are they when they feeling good? You know what I'm saying? When things go bad, people die. Like, money is tough. Like, how do y'all operate in these spaces? You know what I mean? Relationships are so important. Who you choose to be friends with is so important. I know a lot of times we think, hey man, we can save them. People have to kind of want to do the work themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's just the first part of it. They have to want to do the work themselves. You cannot make them do the work. And so you could be the one apple, but what they or you know what I'm saying, one bad apple can spoil the bunch. So you could be that good apple, you can go around all these people who are not as good trying to encourage them, and that's fine. But when you stay in that bunch, you will they it will rotten you. It will rotten you over time. And I'm not saying this to discourage you or keep you from helping people, but sometimes you have to come in and out. Like, hey, I'm gonna help you, but I gotta go back to where I'm come from, and that, or where I'm at. And that doesn't mean you being fake. That doesn't mean you don't love them. Sometimes people have to come to certain realizations on their own, and there's nothing you can do. Like I was saying before, money and relationships. Like, money can, get you to. You think that, okay, man, if I go right now and I go ghost, I'm gonna miss out on the women and stuff like that. But when you dating and you got bread, hey, I could decide if I want to go with this girl or not. I can decide if I want to take her to Disney World or not. I could decide what I want to do with my money because it's my money. You know what I'm saying? People, I know we talk about like women being gold diggers and men being gold diggers. It's not always about that. People want stability in life. You know what I'm saying? At my age, I don't want to be around a woman that don't got nothing going on. And you're not going to want to be around somebody that don't got nothing going on when you got something going on. So sometimes having the money can help bring better relationships because you want your stuff in order and you gonna want people to have their stuff in order. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you got a car and you got a house, you're not gonna want nobody that ain't got no car or who's couch surfing and stuff. You're not necessarily gonna want that. Unless you just feel like, you met somebody that they just don't got it together and you want to help them and y'all gonna work together. That's different. But a lot of times if you have something, you want somebody to have something as well. You don't want to build nothing from scratch, if that makes sense what I'm saying. As much as possible. As much as possible. It's a give and take. I understand that. It's nuance to that. Confidence. Confidence is the next thing. When I'm talking about confidence, confidence comes from doing anything. I don't care what it is. Sports, music, money, relationships, budgeting, uh gym, whatever. It comes by doing. The better you get at something, the more confident you get. Me talking on camera, I become more confident, more natural because I've done 200 of these videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, but so it's not. I don't. Why do I care? You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with who I am on camera. I'm okay with whatever. So it's like as you get in the gym, you become more confident because you're getting your reps in. You know what I'm saying? You become more confident because hey, I know this muscle group. I know what I'm doing. I know how to target this. When you're doing music and you can sing, like, hey, I'm more confident because I know what note I'm hitting. I don't even have to like see it. I know, okay, this is F sharp. This is B minor. This is, you know what I'm saying? The more you do whatever it is, the better you are at it. That is how you build confidence. A lot of this stuff you want in life, you don't get it before, you get it after the doing. Patience, you get after being in some stuff that's going to cause you to have patience. You know what I'm saying? Peace, which I'm going to talk about later. Joy, I'm going to talk about later. These things come after, they don't come before. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to move even when things aren't right, even when things hurt, even when you're not in the best headspace, even when you're not, you have to move. And this is still how you build confidence, by going through adversity and knowing that you become resilient on the outside or on the other side. And that is how you build confidence as well. Peace. This is for me. I've learned that sometimes you have to create peace for yourself. You can pray for peace, but a lot of times peace can come after chaos. Peace is like, it's like the quiet in the storm. And sometimes, let me say this right. Sometimes you have to find something to anchor you in the storm. Sometimes you have to become an anchor in the storm. And sometimes you have to be able to find silence in the storm. And it's not even just in whatever you believe in, it's life. You have to be around people, you have to be around places, you have to be in situations that's going to bring you peace. And sometimes that takes weeding out people, sometimes that takes letting people go, sometimes that takes letting certain situations go. Sometimes that takes improving as a human being. Sometimes that takes finding the peace within yourself, like doing the deep work. But a lot of times I've seen in my life, peace comes after, like, going through certain stuff, after going through the chaos and learning how to adapt and how to deal with it. Learning how to stay grounded even when the world around you is a hurricane and tornado. You know what I mean? To me, that is how you find peace. If somebody else has some, whatever you guys have thoughts about any of these topics that I have, drop them in a comment. Trying to be as clear as concise as possible, but I know that I'm missing certain stuff. If you're still here, drop a like, a comment, subscribe. We're gonna keep going. Joy, unless you just have the unspeakable joy of the Lord, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be funny, like, unless you have joy in your religion and what you believe, or in your faith and what you believe, joy as a human being, it comes from the little things, but it also comes from the atmosphere you create. You know what I mean? I want to be able to create a life of peace. I want to create a life of joy. And joy is not necessarily happiness. Joy is a different type of feeling. So you have to figure out what that is for you. That's something that I'm still working through as well. But like I said, a lot of these things, man, they come after you do the work and you find out, okay, what really matters, what's really important. Like me seeing my family when I wake up in the morning, that brings me joy. You know what I'm saying? Me knowing that I have people that love me, I can come home to and see a smile on their face, that brings me joy. You know what I mean? Being around people who calm my spirit, that brings me peace. Knowing that I am okay, that brings me peace. And a lot of times it takes just weeding out, un, un, unplugging, unplugging, plugging up. What you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do, replace, put whatever. And that could be with people in your life, places in your life, situations. When it comes to jobs, I know a lot of times, we want a job that's gonna bring us peace and joy and all this stuff. Sometimes you have to create that for yourself. And that's where money comes into play, because when you have the money, you can say, you know what, this job, I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go do something that I really want to do and I love to do, because I got my basis, my bills is covered, I got a savings, and I can afford to take a break from this. And in the right way, because you might need to come back, right? If things don't work out, hopefully not, but life happens, but then I can take a break and I can do what really makes my heart smile. I used to think it was the other way around. I used to think that you do what makes your heart smile and then all the things come, which it does. But you have to build the foundation first. If you're lucky enough when you're younger, or if you're lucky enough in life where you get that break that you're just able to do those things, great. But that doesn't work out for a lot of people like that. A lot of times you have to build your base first and then go do whatever those things is that bring you peace and bring you joy. And I think that's good and it's important, because as you build your base, you really start to figure out, okay, I'm putting all this time into saving money, investing in this, that. I'm going to really do what I want to do when I get the chance. And it really starts to allow you to see what you really want to do with your time and your money. So that's about joy and peace. Mental and physical health. I should have put this number one on the list. If you still here, I appreciate you. This is without this thing, you don't have anything. What do they say? The healthy person has a million wishes, the unhealthy person has one, and that's just to be well. If you are well, you can do things well. If you are not well, you can't do things well. I am not a type of person that's gonna try to do things overwhelmed or over exhausted, any of that. I don't recommend nobody doing that. You could probably do it for a time, but that's not sustainable long term, at least for me. You know what I'm saying? The other people that tell you that just go when you're head, no, I don't preach that, because I don't live that. Like I I try not to live that. When I'm tired, I sleep. You know what I'm saying? When I'm exhausted, I rest. You know what I mean? Because that is how I'm able to rejuvenate and sustain. You know what I mean? So I don't get on my pedestal and tell people just grind, grind, grind when you're tired. Sometimes you do have to push through, but that is only for a time. That is not forever. I don't even want to get into this. Like, I'm up at 5 a.m. making this video. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm putting in the work, but I'm not just like, oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this. This is not a forever thing. You know what I'm saying? This is a sprint and not a marathon. So when it comes to that, when it comes to like pushing through and stuff like that, that's for a sprint. That is not for a marathon. Um, Mental and physical health. Get your mind right, get your body right, man. If your mind is not right, you can't do really anything, man. If your body's not right, it's hard to do a lot of things, and you need your body for as long as you're on this earth. So take care of your body. One thing I came to the realization of, especially when it comes to food, is if I don't know where it came from, I'll never truly know what's in it. So if I don't know what's in it, then I don't really know what I'm putting in my body. And I'm not saying I just eat the best, but I'm just saying, like, I had to think about that when I went to the store. I was like, I don't know what's in. I don't know where any of this stuff comes from. So they can tell me what's on the package, what's in it, but I don't really know, because I wasn't there when they manufactured it. I wasn't there when they packaged any of that. I don't know. So when you start to think about that, really, for anything that you consume, then it's like, dang, that changes your thought process. Like music, entertainment, videos. I don't know where this comes from. Is this coming from a good place when they made this? Is it coming from, I don't know. So it's just being careful about what you put into your body. And like I said, take care of your mind. If you don't feel like you're yourself, get checked. Talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? It was frustrating for me for a while, especially mentally, because I was trying to find somebody to talk to for the longest. And it took me a while. It took me a long while to find somebody to talk to. But when I did, I stuck with that person. I still use them now. I've been in therapy over five, almost 6 years. So find somebody to talk to. If you need somebody to talk to, get the help you need. You know what I mean? I'm an advocate for that. I'm always gonna be an advocate for that. Take care of your mind, take care of your body. Okay, you. This is you in totality. You as a person, I want to see how I'm gonna say this. You as a person, you can only give from what you have. And that is throughout your whole life. If you don't have love, it's hard to give love. If you don't have patience, it's hard to give patience. If you don't have grace with yourself, it's hard to give others grace. If you don't have the work ethic, it's hard to work. You can kind of, I mean, you and God, right? But if that's what you believe, whatever you believe, but you can only go as far as you can take you. Does it make sense what I'm saying? Like, You can only, even if you know, you believe in God or whatever, he can only take you so far as you're physically equipped to go. You know what I mean? He can't take you through all this stuff if you don't have resilience and you don't have adversity and you don't have work ethic and you're not gonna be grounded. And this is for whatever you want to do in life. If you want to be really successful, if you want to be a millionaire, 100 millionaire, 10 million, whatever it is, money aside, like you have to be the best version of you for you. And then when you become the best version of you for you, then you can become the best version for you for the rest of the world, right? That's something that I'm like very keen on, is doing what's best for me. You know, because when I do what's best for me in that moment, I don't mean like in a selfish way, but when I take care of myself, then I can help take care of and serve people better. You can't pour from an empty cup in anything you do. So fill yourself up. Take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your money, take care of your resources. All of this stuff is like stewarding resources, bro. That's all it is. Like I'm stewarding my mind so that way I can have the right focus. I'm stewarding my money so that way I can help my family and help myself. You know, I'm stewarding my love in relationships. So I don't give to people who aren't deserving of it, right? My boundaries. You know, I'm stewarding my work ethic so that way I work hard, but I don't overwork myself. But I'm also not trying to be in competition with everybody. I can focus on what I need to do. So a lot of this stuff is just stewarding your life. You know what I'm saying? Like God gave you one life. You here for one life. You know what I'm saying? So it's making the best version of you in this life. So I am 32 years old. This is what I learned. If anybody has, you know, anything they want to drop in the comments, let me know. I feel like it's a lot of stuff I could have covered in this video, but I'd be going on forever. So I'm sorry if I missed something in advance. But if this helps you, like, comment, subscribe. Next time, peace.